Would you mind you guys giving us a little rundown about your characters, because we're coming into this a little bit cold and trying to understand who you all are playing and what they're about.
Sure. So have none of you seen it? Any of it?
We saw it with
the
the panel,
6
the 6
minutes.
minutes.
So you saw the 6 minutes and you've seen the
which was
trailer.
Awesome. Yes.
Yeah.
You guys are in for some awesomeness when you finally get to see it. I envy you. You're going to get to watch it for the first time.
What was it like?
And I'll never be able to do that.
Wow. It was projected down at Comic-Con, and I've said before, and I'll say it again, this is an 8-hour movie. Mm-hmm. And when it was projected down there, we looked at it and went, this is a film. This looks like a $200 million movie. So it's an 8-hour film. It's going to change the paradigm, I think, about television drama.
Yeah, I mean, basically, to kind of give you a quick rundown on how it works, there's historical characters in it. There's the characters from Treasure Island, and then there's also just characters that have been developed by the writers and everyone as well. So there's kind of 3 groups of characters in that way. I play one of the characters who is a real man that existed, back in the early 1700s. Starts in 1715. The golden age of piracy, so to speak. Not the golden age of cable television. Golden age of piracy. Charles Vane there's a lot about him written, which you could all research. You can literally Google Charles Vane, and there's a Wikipedia page for God's sakes. But what there isn't is there's a chronology of ships that were taken, acts that were when he did this, and who was killed, and etc., and how much money was changed hands. But there's not much about the man himself, who he was, how he felt about this, why he did this, where he was born, whether he had parents or was an orphan, did he grow up on a ship or in the land, or all those things. So it's kind of a cool character to play one of these where you're kind of mixing what you know happened with what you're kind of coming up with. And then there's characters like Mark, who is going to tell you about his character. Because I am not going to tell you about it.
I played a character called Gates, who is the quartermaster of the Walrus. And historically, the quartermaster ran the boat, basically, when they weren't in battle. Historically, what happened was that the captain was in charge when they were actually in a battle, and then his command was the ship was run by the quartermaster and the boatswain. And both of those guys and the captain were voted in by the crew. So Gates, as the quartermaster, is the nexus point of this, the democratic will of the crew, which they have to manage and cajole and focus, and also carries out the will of the captain when they're in battle. In this case, Flint and Gates are old friends, and Gates respects Flint's seamanship and his prowess as a fighting captain, and that's the basis of their relationship. And from an audience point of view, I guess he's the audience's eye inside of all of these different worlds, the political, on the ship, within the traders, within the different groupings that revolve around this whole story. He's kind of like the audience's view, peeking into some of these worlds, and it's just a great part to play. It's great fun.
Tell us a little bit about pirate school, because I'm assuming you guys didn't grow up with all these pirate skills yourselves.
Well, I'm the youngest of 3 boys. So I basically just been having my ass kicked my entire life. Yeah. So I think that's one of the big pirate skills. But we actually, Mark kind of is someone we all look to on the casting for that kind of stuff, because he has some of the most experience with this prior to the project of all of us sword work and kind of period accuracy. Whereas me, I was very new to sword work and to the world of pirates and whatnot. And so they actually made me go to pirate school.
I was already.
And so there's a lot of work, for me too. I speak in an American accent, and I'm not doing that on the show. I'm doing an English accent, so there's obviously that work. The physical training, these guys were out to ships. There's not that much nutrition. They're not, they don't have like an organic garden on the boat, or anything like that. Although I was trying to push for those, but and so a lot of that, they spend a lot of time doing manual labor, and ships are hard, so leaning out, being sinewy, so to speak. A lot of that was the training kind of period for me, and then just a lot of working out and stuff like that as well.
You train hard. These guys train hard. Let me tell you. I often used to go, man. I've never, for a TV show, seen guys so dedicated to physically keeping in shape and keeping their skills on. These guys worked hard. Let me tell you. I used to go, wow, God, I'm not able to do that. You get to a certain age when you become a mature actor like myself, and they go, no, Mark, it's okay. I mean, it's like some of the sex scenes. I mean, the six-pack pirate here, right? And I kept going, look, stars, guys, if you really need me to be in one of these scenes, I'm happy to take my clothes off. And they went, no, you keep your clothes on. I went, no, I'm happy if you want me in the brothel, not a problem. They went, no, we want the show to be a success. You will keep your clothes on.
And also during the training process, Mark was nice enough to lend me his hair for the project.
Yes.
So, thank you, Mark, for that.
They used to have to pat down my head because they got bounced off the light, blinding the other actors. It was a technique I used a lot with Toby Stevens, actually.
Blind him in a scene.
So it was, when you see him squinting in the scene with me, is the glare off my loaf is reflected.
I don't know if you saw him in the scene. He's got a tattoo on the back of his head in the show. It's
yes,
fantastic.
I do.
He's got some other stuff.
I got hold fast on my neck.
But going back to this question, Mark, you have a ton of experience in this area, going all the way back to Robin of Sherwood days and so forth. You've worked on films, instructing people and so forth. Is that at all part of your job now, or do you have to sort of sit back and go, you're doing that wrong? I mean, can you still share some of that?
I was desperate to get into the fights, but there comes a point. Like I've been very lucky. I've had a very eclectic career, and so I'd worked with Bob Anderson on First Night. I choreographed King Arthur. I did Robin of Sherwood. So horses and bows and arrows and swords have been a very big part of my life. And there comes a point where you go, the young bucks have to take over this role, and so they did really, really well. I have to say they trained very hard, and it looks brutal and gritty. So I'd look over a couple of times and just give moral support. But no, I'm not in the midst of it. They had an amazing stunt team down there. The guys in the stunt team were fantastic. So yeah, it was great fun to be. I was a little bit frustrated because I wanted to be in the middle of that, but you have to leave it for the young bucks to go do that.
And there was a lot of, there's really a great team in place. Down to our second unit, which shoots a lot of the action stuff.
Yeah, Nick.
And the second unit director, Nick. If you go online and you look at what he's done, you go oh my God, I'm so happy. He basically shot everything, Saw
Gladiator.
And it's amazing. And he's the one in there, doing a lot of that, working with the stunt choreography and actually shooting it the way it's shot so that it looks the way it's supposed to. It wasn't long before it was very easy to put your trust in the people that they had assembled to do this, because it was clear they had assembled an amazing team, and that you should just listen to the legends that you're working
I think that's what brings the cinema edge to this particular show, is that all the heads of department, from the makeup that works on Harry Potter, you got Nick who'd worked on Gladiator, we got the GP that worked on Transformers, and the Bourne movies. So the actual feel of it is very, very filmic. It's very cinema feel to it.
It's an 8-hour film.
But thank you. I would love to have got involved in all of that, but maybe some other time.
Well, you're hoping for a long run on this series. So
I think this is going to run a long time.
We already got a second series before the first is even aired.
We already got 10
yeah.
It's actually going to be an 18-hour. It's definitely going to be an 18-hour movie. It's already an 8, so it's definitely going to be an 18-hour movie.
Isn't that incredible that the reaction to this show has been so visceral?
Yeah.
There's the need for this type of show has been out there, and this is obviously going to fill that gap. That people reacted to it already. It's not even aired yet, and it's already got this phenomenal feel about it. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I'm so used to stop and taking photos with people from like Shameless and stuff, and like I'm already taking pictures all the time around like the world with people who are like, you're that Bayard from Black Sails, and I'm like, how the fuck do you know? I haven't even seen it yet. Like, I just recently got to see it. Like, I was like, what's going on?
Have you seen an uptick since Comic-Con? Because that's really kind of the first.
Yeah, so I saw, of course, that first one at Comic-Con, and that's the only version I've seen of that one. But I just we were just in MIPCOM, and a couple of us like assaulted John and like stole the computer. We're like, we are watching this. So we sat down, and I was lucky enough to watch 2 through 7 in that run, and. Tell you, it just gets better each episode, and I'm like, I still can't really believe I'm involved in this, so I'm just like, thank you.
A lot of shows, when you start to watch a show, it starts big and you get sucked in, it's like a bait and switch, and then it kind of trails off, right? This starts big and gets humongous. This starts
By the time you're watching like 5 or 6, you're like it's so good, and then like you're watching 5 or 6 and you're like, well, that was, I guess, okay. What? Oh my God! Like, it's kind of mind-blowing to me. I think, so.
It builds and builds and builds. It gets more convoluted, more passionate. The relationships get more complex, and the risks get higher. It builds. It's fantastic.
Because in reality, I mean, it's such a big world. It takes a while before you even know all of the people who are in it, or think you know all the people who are in it, and before you even kind of understand what the politics are. So it's. There's plenty to watch.
Well, we're looking forward to it.
Yes, very much.
Thank you so much.